Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this very warm day. When put in context for this week, it's going to seem like summer. My name is John Moody. I am your music director today. We are joined today on stage with Elizabeth Kelly on piano. We're always happy to welcome back my friend and yours, Dave Van Haren on drums. We've got Barb Gulati doing song leading today. Wow. You've got special music by yours truly. And we are also delighted to welcome back Reverend Brent Coons. So if you are able, please stand, and we will start with our congregational songs. 2, 1, 2.
Rise on up, the time is near. Share your light, live from the heart, illuminate the world, you can do your part. Lost and all alone, I
Good morning. I am bountifully blessed Beth, your platform person for today. And before I continue, may I express my condolences over the loss of your Lions last night. It's okay. We're going to be okay. Okay, everyone, stop and listen. Is your phone muted? If you haven't already, now is a great time to silence your phone. Thank you to everyone who has made this service possible today. We greatly appreciate you and your talents. Welcome also to anyone joining us for the first time. We would love to know how you found us, what brought you here today, and what we can do to support you on your journey. If you are willing to share that with us, or if you would like to stay in touch, you will find a card like this one in the pew pocket in front of you. You can fill that in and give it to one of our ushers as you leave. Our announcements for today. Today, we have our friend, Reverend Brett Kuhn, back with us. Thank you for making your way across the state to be here with us again today and not bringing the snow till just a little bit later. The title of his talk is There's Nothing to Figure Out. Next week, Reverend Judy is back with her talk of Respect Yourself at All Times, followed by pie upstairs, and then the town hall. You don't want to miss that. You may want to take a picture of this next slide if you are interested. Today, Unity of Blue Water in Port Huron is hosting a vision mapping gathering to meditate, vision, and plan. This will run from 12:30 to 2:30 via Zoom. You need to email the woman on the slide, Kathy Hardwood Long, to get the link, or you can use the Zoom ID listed on the slide. And again, I would encourage you to take a picture of that if interested. Thursday, the book study to discuss The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle continues at 10 a.m. upstairs. All are invited to join, even if you missed an earlier session. It is hosted by Jack Woltman and runs from 10 to 11:30 a.m. And lastly, there is a book study on the 5 Principles by Ellen Debenport. This study takes place via Zoom on 5 consecutive Monday evenings, starting January the 27th. To attend this one, you need to call Unity of Livonia at the number listed on the screen or register online on their website to get the link. These offerings are a great way to deepen your spiritual side and get to know others on the path from elsewhere around the state. Well, as we also know, winter weather is here, and if we ever need to cancel, you will see it reported on WWMT Channel 3. There's not a slide for this, but a reminder that choir practice is tomorrow at 5:30. The choir's next performance will be February the 23rd. All voices are welcome. And also, Unity and Community is meeting after service upstairs today. Now, let's join in our mission, vision, and core value statements. Our mission at Unity of Kalamazoo is as follows. As an all-inclusive community, we awaken to spirit, grow into our souls, and build a better world. Our vision, we celebrate a world of ever-awakening consciousness, abundance, peace, and love for all. And our core values of love, authenticity, stewardship, oneness, playfulness. We also acknowledge through our land and labor acknowledgement those that have come before us. Our spiritual community acknowledges Black, Indigenous, and people of color whose lands and labor were forcibly taken. We pledge to promote understanding, equity, justice, and inclusivity. Finally, let's acknowledge our youth here and in the community. We rub our hands together, get some good energy going, and we say, as you go your way, know that you are loved, special, and important to us.
Today reflect on the clear vision, powerful words, and courageous actions of leaders such as Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I appreciate how one's person's example can inspire so many others to move beyond thoughts of limitation and focus on the possibilities for good that are always present. Inspiration can be thought of as the breath of God. I, like all people, am made in the image and the likeness of the divine. I give thanks for people I have known whose vibrant faith and love, even in the most challenging circumstances, have inspired me. Guided by my divine gifts of imagination and zeal, I join with those building a world where each person lives freely and with joy. And in Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, then the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. Would you accompany me, please? Thank you. So if you're open for it, just closing your eyes, taking a nice deep breath in, and just letting go. Letting go of all your struggles. Letting go of the Lions game. Just letting all your troubles float into the air. Just giving them back to God, who is more than gracious and happy to receive those from you.
Did you know that you don't have to carry any burdens? Did you know that? Did you know that you don't have to carry your worries of what might happen and usually doesn't? Did you know that this moment, right here, right now, has everything you need to be at peace, to be in joy, to be grateful for all the gifts that God has bestowed on you? I know, sometimes it's hard to see that they're gifts, but you're invited to have trust and faith that everything is unfolding exactly as it needs to. So I invite you just to be gentle with yourself, be compassionate with yourself, love yourself as God would love you, as Jesus would love you, as not would love you, as does love you, as Buddha loves you, as Krishna loves you. All the sages and saints are here for you to shine their light on you so that you can see that light is you. Yes. Yes, you are the light. You are that which you have been seeking. So right now, I just invite you just to become aware of your breath. Just notice it. Notice how the body is breathing all by itself. And you might notice your breath is shallow or deep or fast or slow. Whatever the body is doing, just simply allow it to be. Just simply notice it. And one of the beautiful things about noticing the breath is there's no effort. There's no effort required in this meditation. You don't need to do any energy healing work or imagination or visualization. Just simply notice the beautiful breath, however it is. And I'm also going to invite you just to let the world be okay without you for this short time we're together. I almost always say that because we're so programmed to be fixing the world, to figuring out the problems and then coming up with a solution. I'm inviting you to let go of all that need to figure it out, just letting it go. And you might feel a sense of relief from that. Wow, there's nothing for me to figure out? No, there's not. So just having trust and faith that everything is unfolding the way it needs to. And as a witness to the breath, you are also a witness to your thoughts, to your feelings, to your body, your mind, your experiences. There is something that is simply compassionately observing all of life without needing to fix or change it. And so just noticing the breath and to know that you can come back to this breath anytime throughout the day, that it simply brings you back to a place of being aware, being aware. And just taking another deep breath and coming back to this space, this time. Namaste, my friends.
I wrote this song during, oh boy, I think the late 2000s, 2010s, when I was gigging 6 nights a week either at the Barn Theater or Mason Street Warehouse, and it kind of hit me that as much as I am living my dream of what I am doing, what I was giving up was sitting in a crib at home. So this song is called Another Summer.
Thank you so much for all the beautiful music. Barb, thank you so much for your beautiful voice as well. Am I up loud enough, Brian? It doesn't seem like it's... is everybody able to hear me okay in the back? Okay. Hello? 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 We back on? Okay. How's that? Can everybody hear me in the back okay? All right. Good, good, good. Good morning, everybody. Title of my talk is There's Nothing to Figure Out. We don't need to figure out why the Lions' defense was so bad last night. My wife and I had a discussion afterwards because she was frustrated that our two, the offensive coach and the defensive coach, have both been interviewing for other positions as head coaches, and she said they weren't prepared, and she was not happy about that. So evidently she doesn't have to figure anything out. She has the answer to what's going on here. I don't know. But so we had a little discussion around that. I'm like, they've got a lot of defensive players hurt, you know. So and we were getting into it, Beth and one other person. We were having this conversation why the Lions had let us down. But no, I'm grateful. It's been a fun season to watch, and they poured their hearts in it. They truly did. So all is well. So this talk for me. I don't even remember how long ago it was, maybe 15, 20 years ago, I don't know. I was in the midst of going through some challenge, and I was just so in my head about it. And so I finally, in Spirit, you've heard me say this before, Spirit will play songs in my head to kind of guide me and let me know whether I'm on track or something's missing. And I feel like they're helping me with that so that I don't have to be in my head as much and figure it out. But this particular thing, I was very much in my head, and they started playing the song in my head, Try to Figure It Out. I don't remember the rest of the words, so you're welcome. You won't have to hear any more from me. But they were playing this song, and I was trying to figure out why they're playing the song, try to figure it out. And it became even like, now it's just so into trying to figure it out. And then something happened where they played the song. They had planted the seed, and then a situation came about, and I heard them play the song again, and I said, I got it. I understand. You know, I'm trying to figure it out. That's why you're playing the song in my head, trying to figure it out. And so I thought, wow, I really just need to let this go. And we've talked about this some. I want to take it to a deeper level, but we've talked about, you know, anytime we've lost keys or we've lost something, you know, when do we really find those things? It's when we let it go, we surrender it over, and we go, oh, yes, that's where it's at. Like, Spirit is wanting to jump in. God is wanting to jump in and help us out. So, the reason I'm doing this talk today is because, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, before I had quite woken up, you know that stage kind of between that dream state and the waking state. It's like I get messages during that time because you're not fully awake, but you're not in your head about things. And so I heard them say, no more figuring it out. And I thought to myself, what did they mean by that? Let me try to figure that out. No, I did not do that. It was a very clear message. There was nothing to figure out. There truly wasn't. I think part of the reason this message came to me is because, again, a long time ago, I had 3 different people approach me. Well, 2 different people, and I heard Spirit say the same thing. Stop trying to figure out your dreams. Let your dreams go. I'm sure, because I talk to people who really enjoy their dreams and like analyze them and try to figure it out. I had taken a dream class, and I really had gotten some great, understandings through my dreams. So I just wasn't ready to let it go, even though I was being very much prodded to let it go. And I was sitting with a dear friend of mine. We were having some tea, and we were talking about dreams, and he said, did he say there's 4 things about that you have to find a way to let those go? And this is based on the teachings of Sadhguru. For any of you that are familiar with him, he has literally hundreds of millions of followers and consults with the Prime Minister of India. So he's somebody to listen to. Any case, the 4 things, I'm going to see if I can recall these. One of them is dreams. One of them is sleep, our idea about what sleep is. One of them is food, and one of them is sex. Those are the 4 things that ultimately we're asked to let him go and transcend those. And I know it sounds a bit crazy, and some of you might say, I'm not going to let go of my food, Brad. It's okay. I understand that. But, as it says in the Bible, man does not live by bread alone. There's people on this earth right now, whether you believe it or not, that don't live on anything. And it was spoken in Yogananda's book, The Autobiography of a Yogi, how he had come across somebody that literally did not eat anything. She just lived off the blessings and the love of God. That was it. So I'm not here to convince you of any of this. I just want to share some of these things with you to help you understand a little bit more. So in any case, I was, when I heard about dreams, again, I'm like, it's time for me to let go of my dreams. Because I see that I'm analyzing, I'm getting in my head, I'm trying to figure out what my dreams are, and I know this is what Spirit continues to ask me to release and let go of. So I said, I'm going to practice on doing that. And in my practice, I was noticing that there was more of a stillness and quietness with it. And I would recognize, even if it wasn't my dream, I would recognize how I was starting to get in my head and figure things out. And so I was letting it go more and more. So again, 3 or 4 weeks ago, Spirit says, no more figuring it out. And so I pondered that, and I really have been practicing on doing that, because what I'm really recognizing is, you've probably heard me say, that we have scientifically measured that we have about 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts every single day. And if you calculate that out, that's like literally a thought going on every second. But this is our minds, right? And we've all been told by our teachers, use your head, figure it out, This is how we've been trained, and it's okay. It's okay, first of all. This is just the game of life, but now the game of life gets to be a little juicier. We get a chance to start quieting the mind, to get in touch with, be still and know that I am God. To be still and know that I am God. And I think it's the Bible that says, how can you possibly hear God when your mind is so busy? I'm paraphrasing, but there's something like that, I believe, in there. And if there's not, there should be. So, any case, it's like the quieter I get, it's just everything I need is there. And I'm noticing myself getting quieter with other people. It's like, my buddy and I, who like to have tea quite often in conscious conversation, I do enjoy my time, but I'm noticing a little bit more like I don't know how much I want to talk about all of this, because I'm feeling like I just want to be. I just want to sit with this quietness, with this beautiful stillness that is here. But my mind has been so busy that I'm just not able to enjoy how beautiful this moment is. And every moment, truthfully. We're so trained and ingrained in our heads that we have to know the answer. Do we? Do we have to know the answer? I know we're a very fast food society, right? We want immediate gratification. We got to figure this thing out. We got to do this. We really don't have to. And I would say the beautiful thing about when you choose to say, I don't want to figure this out anymore, that there's a few things that begin to happen. First of all, the mind becomes more quiet. You then begin to develop this trust and faith that everything is unfolding exactly the way it needs to. And it doesn't need my help from the head. Now, I'm not, a lot of times you hear me talk about the mind, the head. I have nothing against the mind and head. I'm quite grateful for it. Thank you. I just don't want it to be in the position that it is, to rule the roost. I don't want that. And it's been that way most of my life. And, the truth is, I'd say women probably have a step up on men in many ways. And this isn't a blanket statement, but we're just raised from a logical point of view. Most of us all were raised that way, where women are more in their hearts and they're more into their emotions. Doesn't mean a man can't do that. And unity usually is pretty good about the men usually are very heart-centered. So I want to throw that in there as well. So, but there really isn't anything that we have to have right now. And if we have to have it right now, guess what? It will be there for you. It will be there for you. But when you leave this body, when you leave this physical mind, is there still an intelligence that is there? Right? If there is something beyond this life, There has to be some kind of intelligence, some kind of wisdom that sustains when we leave this physical form behind. True? So if we believe that there's something more, there has to be some kind of intelligence that's there. I'm inviting you to let go of your need to figure it out so that you can begin to connect with a deeper intelligence and a deeper wisdom that knows all the answers, but will only provide it when it's needed. It is such a beautiful way of gently calming the mind, to just let it go, to know that everything will unfold the way it needs to. I had something that was there, and it faded away on me, so I'm going to just be silent for a moment because I want my words to be from deep within. And I'm trying not to figure it out right now. It is truly a tough habit to break. And this is what I want to say. That when I say you're invited to let go of your need to figure it out, what I don't mean is to make some kind of effort to stop figuring it out. This isn't about effort, okay? And in fact, this is very important because none of it really is about effort in the end. What it is about is awareness. It's like, oh, I see, I'm starting to figure it out. Or trying to figure it out. You become aware of trying to figure it out rather than figure out why you are trying to figure it out. Don't get caught in that trap. The only thing that's necessary is to simply be aware. Just to simply be aware. Oh, okay, I see my mind's getting busy. My mind wants to figure it out. It's okay. Let that thought come as many times as it wants to. You just be a witness to it and allow it to be there. I'll tell you, to be honest with you, you've heard me talk about my heart AFib that I've had, and I've taken different postures to heal it. I try to heal things naturally when I can. That's just my preference. I've worked with a holistic medical intuitive for, I guess since 92. And it's been very beautiful and profound. And he's been doing his best to help me with my AFib. I went to see a holistic medical doctor as well, and I said, I work with a medical intuitive, so he said, give him this information, do with it what he will. I've had some good progress with it, but what I'm noticing is the AFib's still here. And in fact, it might be here more than it was in some ways. And so I've started to become aware, like, okay, of course, my mind wanted to get busy. My mind wanted to figure out, what do I do next? How can I heal this? And I don't mind, by the way, I don't mind asking that question, but then don't hold on to it. Just give it over to God. Give it over to God. And so for me, what has been happening is I'm noticing when my AFib is coming, and I'm like, oh, okay. My comment in my head will be that I'm noticing, I see I have AFib again. And you know what I catch? I catch my mind trying to convince me that I have AFib, but it's saying that I have it as if I am my form. Please hear that. It's talking to me as if I am the body, I am the mind, I am this structure here, and I am not. I am not anything physical. I am the awareness of the physical. I am the awareness of the mind. I am the awareness of the body. So when my mind says, I'm in AFib again, I say, I don't think so. I am the witness to that thought. I am a witness to the AFib. I am not that. I do not have that. It's very important to start to grasp this. Excuse me just a second here. Throat is a little dry. It's so important to grasp this, because everything that is happening in life is providing you an opportunity to simply be aware of it. Nothing more. That's it. All you have to do is be aware of it. And I'll tell you something that's been very, very powerful and impactful for me over the last few months, and that is following, where is this thought coming from? Just asking, what is the source of this thought? Because when you come with a source, get to the source, you see that you're not that. Because if you are the source, then why are you doing all this bad thinking? Why is there negative thinking? Why are these thoughts beating you up? Why are these thoughts saying you aren't enough? But there's something that is providing these thoughts, something that feeds you even when you're sleeping in your dreams, right? We're not in control. We're not in control when we're sleeping at night, but something is still feeding the thoughts and the dream. I'm inviting you to continue to ask, where are these thoughts coming from? Because when you determine that it's not you that is doing all these thoughts, you can then start catching the mind when it says, let me tell you what the truth is. And you go, no, no, no. I see what's going on here. This is the ego self that thinks it knows what's going on. It's the ego self that claims it knows happiness. The ego self that says, I will figure it out. You need to listen to me, and then I will bring you to happiness. But the mind, the ego self, never knows happiness. Why? Because the ego self is all rooted in duality. This is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. And so the mind is always judging and determining this is what is true. This is what's going to bring you happiness. What ends up happening? We end up being in this political bombshell of people separating themselves from each other because everyone is claiming that they know the truth. If somebody wants to talk to me about truth, I hope they come from a place of silence and stillness, because that's where truth lies. There's a quote by Rumi. Some of you may know it. It's a very popular quote. And Rumi says, beyond the idea of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I will meet you there. Beyond the ideas of wrongdoings and right doings, there's a field. I will meet you there. Meaning, I want to see you go beyond the mind. I want to see you go beyond what you say is right and wrong, where you can find that peace that lies within you every single moment. Every single moment. It's here right now. God is here right now. I'm getting more in touch with as I'm meditating, and I'm just noticing my thoughts, and I'm noticing that God is the awareness of all these thoughts, the awareness of me, how I'm caught in certain life situations, and God is just saying, it's okay, I got you. I'll take care of you. Just give up needing to figure it out. Just keep witnessing all of life, and you'll find that the peace has always been there. That is you. You are that peace. I can honestly say, as I've been doing this, in my meditation, and I'm just stepping into the awareness, and I'm feeling God right there, I can honestly say, you don't have to take one single step to experience God. You don't have to move 1 inch to experience God. Why? Because you are that. You are one with God. You are that experience. It's like trying to separate a drop of water out of the ocean. No, you are that. You are that. So, I guess I want to finish with this. This whole thing about trying to figure it out. My invitation to you is to, first of all, if you're willing to let go of your need to figuring out, and that's an important part of it. Just making this choice to say, look, I truly want to experience more stillness, more silence, more peace in my life. I want to experience more God, joy, and love in my life. I'm ready to go on this journey, this adventure of letting it go of my need to figure it out. And by doing that, God is going to, I'm going to say, come closer to you, which I said he can't really come closer because he's already that. But it's going to feel like God has come closer to you because God is interested in taking care of you. And by deciding that you don't want to figure it out, God is going to step forward and say, okay, if you're not trying to figure it out, I want to provide something within you that is better guidance to give you the answers you need when you need them. And I got to tell you, when round 2, when I was told again not to figure it out, and I said, okay, I'm letting this go, man, I felt Spirit come forward and just really guide me. Like my intuition went up. It just went up. Like when I was at the store shopping, I've always gotten a certain amount of guidance, but it's like, you guys familiar with muscle testing? I'm sure there's a lot of people familiar with that, yeah. So the body knows the answers. So anytime I go to grab some food, I'll go like this, and I'll go, whoop. I can just feel it. Physically, I can feel something. Energetically, I can feel something. And it's like, nope, that's not for me. And I let it go. So God, it's like, God's like, okay, you made that commitment. Let me make this commitment to you. I will be there for you. And I want you to know that. So it's a beautiful, beautiful journey. This letting go of it, again, instills the trust and faith that we have to know that we're going to be taken care of. I think that's about it. I do want to say, be clear that this isn't about effort. Be clear that you don't need to figure out how to end this figuring out, really. You have to get clear that just when the thoughts present itself and you notice that you're trying to figure it out, perfect. Just notice it, come back to being aware of your breath. Or whatever, if you've got a mantra, from TM, or whatever you need to do to simply bring yourself back to just being aware. It brings you back to the present moment. That's the practice. Doesn't matter what's going on in the world. You can hear all these things politically or all the things like, oh my God, this world's going crazy. The game doesn't change. You keep noticing what your mind has to say about that, and you simply come back to being aware of your breath or whatever brings you back to the moment. It's beautiful. It's powerful. It is liberating. It can lead you to a place of being free because you realize you were free all along, but your mind had painted a picture to say, I'm not that. I'm not freedom. I'm not joy. We have an opportunity right now to give up the story about who we are, who we have believed ourselves to be. And I promise you, when you give up that story, you will feel more joy and peace about yourself than you have ever felt. And so I'm not trying to convince you of anything. You explore it for yourself, and then you let me know how it works out. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I'm Judy Carnego, one of your board members. Thank you, Reverend Brett, for all your wonderful ideas. I'm afraid I'm a poster child for trying to figure things out. I'll work on that. Now, if everyone here in the sanctuary and everyone at home would join me in the board affirmation of the month. I shine the light of love in the world. And now as the ushers come forward, please take your tithes and offerings and join me in the offertory blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
That remember, I actually got a grant to record a jazz album in December. And this song was the first one I wrote for that project, and it's fitting that it is the final cut on the forthcoming album. And as Dave and I were joking, the track itself is 11 minutes long, so I hope you're all comfortable. This song is called Valley 3.
Wow, thank you, John and band. I don't know about you, but sometimes instrumentals just allow for a different kind of presencing. So that was fabulous. Thank you. And the ushers have come forward, so let us pray. Loving Spirit, thank you for our wonderful blessings. Use our gifts given today and throughout the week to strengthen our spiritual home in order that we may spread our positive presence into our community. We also offer our prayers for those suffering in Los Angeles who suddenly find themselves with nothing after the devastating fires. We pray that divine order is restored in their lives, and we continue to surround those displaced in the love and light we know as unity. And Spirit, help us to keep our hearts and minds open and flowing with positive energy and love for one another. We know our peace, joy, kindness, and love is not dependent on external circumstances. It is within us, always, in the form of our divine Spirit. Let's spread that peace, kindness, joy, and love everywhere, knowing we are all here to do the work that is ours to do. All is well. Amen. And as we bring our service to a close, I invite you to please stand and join me in our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And now as we close with the peace song, if you're comfortable, you may hold hands with your neighbor or just place your hand on your heart and connect within.